New at noon today, Jackson police investigating another deadly and violent crime in the city. A 23-year-old man was shot and killed on Bow Street in what's being investigated as a robbery homicide. Cheryl Lassiter is live at the scene with the latest on what's happened there. Cheryl.
First at 5, a live look from Paris, where the fire destroyed part of the historic Notre Dame Cathedral. Large flames shot out of the 12th century cathedral Monday afternoon, sending ash falling on those watching in horror as the monument burned. The cathedral is one of the most visited landmarks in the world. French President Emmanuel Macron promises to rebuild and restore the iconic church. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. This morning, the Jackson Diocese is sending its prayers. The church took to Twitter to offer their prayers and condolences. The fire broke out during the middle of Holy Week, when many Christians are preparing for the coming of Easter season. Church officials say they were able to save many of the historic relics stored in the cathedral, including a crown made of thorns many believe was the one Jesus wore when he was crucified. We'll have continuing coverage from Paris on this devastating fire. All that and more coming up on the Today Show.
WLBT News starts now with breaking news.
And it's coming out of Jackson, where police are investigating 2 overnight crimes.
3 on your sides, Reggie Marion, following both investigations, the latest on them. He joins us now live. Reggie?
Yeah, good morning, Wilson and Symphony. The criminals are up early this morning, causing problems across Jackson this morning. I'm here on Houston Avenue at the Vintage Apartments. You have neighbors standing around looking, trying to figure out why police are here, but police have told us that a man has been shot. This is Houston Avenue, the Vintage Apartments. There's no word on his condition right now, no word yet on a suspect or a motive. Also this morning, armed robbers tried to steal the ATM at the Sefco in the 700 block of Lakeland Drive. That clerk told me she was mopping the floor around 2 this morning when 4 masked gunmen tried to take the ATM, but they failed. She believed that someone driving by saw what happened and called police. She was not hurt. The suspects did get away in a dark-colored pickup truck. Again, she was not hurt, and I reached out to that store to try to see if they have surveillance video. They told me that they've turned that surveillance video over to JPD, but waiting to find out if they are going to release that to the media. But again, I'm here on Houston Avenue in Jackson at the Vintage Apartments, where a man has been shot, and we're working right now to try to figure out his condition and if police have a suspect in custody or what is the motive. And we'll continue to stay out here, and for the latest, you can always find it on WLBT.com. Live in Jackson, Reggie Marion, 3 on your side.
WLBT News starts now with breaking news.
Breaking overnight, Jackson police are searching for the gunman in a deadly shooting. Police say they're looking for the suspects who shot and killed a 54-year-old Hispanic man at a motel on Greenway Drive late Wednesday night. When officers arrived, officers found the victim in the parking lot with multiple gunshot wounds. Surveillance photos show several people get out of a small silver sedan. Take a look at your screen here. You see they got out of that vehicle before shooting the victim. They then stole the victim's black Chevrolet pickup truck, which has a Texas license plate number KNX 1224. Right now, the victim's identity is not being released. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen.
Today is an alert day as we anticipate some rough weather in central Mississippi. It's pretty calm as we look at downtown Jackson this morning from our tower cam, but that will be changing. Here's First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis.
Are arrested in connection to the death of a Biloxi police officer, and they will appear in court today. 19-year-old Darian Atkinson is charged with capital murder, accused of shooting and killing Officer Robert McKeithen outside police headquarters Sunday night. His brother, 21-year-old Davian Atkinson, is charged with accessory after the fact. Wiggins police arrested Darian on Monday night after a manhunt. Both men are being held at the Harrison County Jail.
Today, you'll be able to hear from several of the Democratic candidates looking to become the next president of the United States, and you can watch it right here on WLBT. This is a live look now at the stage where candidates like Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke, and Bill de Blasio will meet for the first debate of the 2020 presidential election. 20 candidates will square off for the 2-day event. Lester Holt, Savannah Guthrie, Chuck Todd, and Rachel Maddow will moderate the 2-hour debate. The debates will be the first chance for voters to hear candidates' plans for the country and where they stand on issues like health care and taxes. You can watch the debate right here on WLBT starting at 8 p.m. We are now taking a live look from our nation's capital this morning, the morning after President Trump's State of the Union address.
The speech mixed a bipartisan message with familiar rhetoric ranging from border security to the Russia investigation. Tracy Potts has the latest from Capitol Hill.
It's the day many of you have been waiting for. In just 2 hours, voters will head to the polls all over the state to see who will represent Mississippi in the U.S. Senate.
Republican Cindy Hyde-Smith and Democrat Mike Espy will face off in today's runoff election to serve the remainder of Thad Cochran's term. We'll have the latest in Decision 2018 news as the polls get ready to open. But first, the weather. We're off to a freezing start on this Tuesday morning. Here's a live look from our tower cam looking over downtown Jackson. First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis joins us with details on how cold it will be today as you head to the polls. All right, it's 7 o'clock this morning. The polls will be open and you will decide who will represent Mississippi in the U.S. Senate.
Cindy Hyde-Smith is fighting a challenge from Mike Espy to keep the seat she was appointed to when Thad Cochran retired earlier this year. She's the first woman to represent Mississippi in the Senate. Espy hopes to become the first African American to represent Mississippi in the Senate since Reconstruction. Hyde-Smith came under fire after she made controversial comments about public hangings and voter suppression, while Espy faced scrutiny regarding allegations against him when he was U.S. Secretary of Agriculture in the 1990s. Whoever wins today's runoff will serve the last 2 years of Cochran's term. The polls will be open from 7 to 7.
The runoff for a U.S. Senate seat in Mississippi has turned into a national event.
All eyes are on the race between Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith and Mike Espy. 3 on Your Side's Reggie Marion is live from a polling location in North Jackson. Good morning, Reggie.
Good morning, Symphony and Wilson. The runoff between Republican Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith and Democrat Mike Espy, it is the final U.S. Senate seat to be decided from the midterms earlier this month. The winner goes on and finishes the last 2 years of Republican Senator Thad Cochran, who resigned because of health issues. Now, this race, of course, is gaining national attention because it's become a racially charged election.
We've made it to the middle of the work week. We are on your side this Wednesday morning with a look at some of the top stories we're following today. The results of the special runoff election between Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith and challenger Mike Espy are in. We'll tell you who will represent Mississippi in the U.S. Senate straight ahead.
Meanwhile, officials in Rankin County looking into an accident that killed 2 people. We'll hear from the Highway Patrol about what happened in just a moment.
The results are in, and Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith will keep her seat in the U.S. Senate for the next 2 years.
She defeated Democratic challenger Mike Espy in the historic runoff election. With 99% of the votes counted, Hyde-Smith has 54% to Espy's 46. They're currently separated by about 71,000 votes. But that's enough to send Hyde-Smith back to Washington to serve the remaining 2 years of Thad Cochran's 6-year term. Governor Phil Bryant appointed her to that seat after Cochran retired in April. It's a history-making result as she becomes the first woman to be elected to either side of the Congress from Mississippi. Hyde-Smith says she got a congratulatory call from the president when it was clear that she had won the race.
He just congratulated me. He said, Cindy, you have been through a storm and you survived it. He said, you survived it with grace. And he just really was very complimentary. And he said, anybody as tough as you are, we need you in D.C. and I need you on my team.
Hyde-Smith says she will board a plane back to D.C. this morning to get back to work. And Governor Bryant tweeted his congratulations. He said she had been through one of the most negative campaigns in modern Mississippi history, but that she won the race with grace and character.
Democratic candidate Mike Espy's fight to make history as the first black person in Mississippi to win the U.S. Senate seat since the Civil War came to a disappointing end. Espy officially conceded after thanking his wife and family for supporting him over the past 8 months. Hundreds of people packed the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum for his watch party. He told the crowd that he will continue to push for unity in Mississippi among all races and religions. He also wants more young people to get involved in the political process to promote positive change.
Believe that Mississippi's future will be brighter than Mississippi's past. So make no mistake, tonight is the beginning. Tonight is not the end. For those of you out there who I met in these universities, who looked at our campaign and looked under the hood, and maybe decide one day that you want to run for office, go for it. Go for it.
Espy says he called Hyde-Smith and congratulated her. He says he will pray for her as she goes to D.C. to help Mississippi. Jackson Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba issued a statement after Espy's concession. He said in part, quote, "The result tonight was not as we desired, but we ultimately understand that every defeat is not as great of a defeat as it may initially seem, and every victory is not as large of a victory as it may initially seem. I challenged Senator Hyde-Smith to unify Mississippi. This ultimately became a somewhat divisive campaign, and we have a state that can potentially be divided if the right effort is not put forth. And so I challenge her to work continuously to unify this state and build this state to one that supports everyone." The mayor went on to thank Espy for his efforts.
Here's a live look at I-55 at the Waterworks curve in Jackson as many folks get ready to hit the road for the Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, safety on the roads is a major concern for the Highway Patrol this weekend. 3 on Your Side's Ashley Garner joins us live in Jackson to tell us how state troopers are planning to crack down on dangerous driving. Ashley.
Wind and rain heading our way on this alert day. Thanks for joining us. I'm Wilson Stribling.
And I'm Symphony Privet. We are taking a live look from our Natchez Tower Cam as we continue to monitor severe weather heading to the metro area. First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis is here to tell us when it's expected to get here. Thank you, Patrick. Today is an alert day here at WLBT, and with another threat of severe weather in the forecast, we want you to be prepared and safe.
3 on Your Side's Ashley Garner joins us live from Brandon with a few things to keep in mind ahead of the storms. Ashley?
Well, Wilson and Tiffany, Rankin County emergency officials are prepared to open the safe room today for anyone who may need to take shelter. Now, last week during storms, more than 100 people took shelter here at the safe room. You are more than welcome to come if you need to find a safe place today ahead of severe weather in our area.
WLBT News starts now, tracking winter weather.
The snow is here, and it is awfully cold in central Mississippi. Good afternoon. I'm Wilson Stribling.
And I'm Joy Redmond. Today's big story, the snow. It's back in the metro. We have a live look outside for you now at I-55 and High Street. And actually, this is I-55 at Clay Street. Now, that will be up going toward Vicksburg is what you're looking at there. It's not too different of a scene here, though, in the Jackson Metro. We do have snow-covered roadways out there. And again, you can see that the snow has fallen throughout the morning. And now here is Michael with a look at more of this winter weather.
Well, the snow from the sky to the roads. We've got you covered on the First Alert Action Day today. As you know, Mississippi drivers not accustomed to driving in the snow. Now,
3 on Your Side is keeping a close eye on traffic and the storm's effect on the roadways. We've got David Kenny joining us live from the Madison Parkway Bridge, which had to be shut down. David, how's it looking out there now?
Yeah, we still have light snow falling right now, a little bit on the roadway. Take a look down here. They closed this road and this bridge this morning because ice and snow was accumulating on there, and you can see why. We have less than an inch, but still, they deemed it too dangerous to drive across. You can see more accumulations up there on the bridge that comes at a curve, so they just said it was too dangerous to drive.
So snow continues to fall across parts of the state right now, and as you can see, it's coating roads and bridges with ice.
Yeah, Ashley Garner's been monitoring traffic conditions all morning long, and she joins us live now from I-55 and Fortification Street in Jackson. Ashley.
Yeah, Wilson, right now, light snow flurries coming down here in Jackson. I want you to take a look at I-55 here behind me. Not a lot of traffic out here on the roads, but you can see a little bit of snow there in the distance. The flurries have been falling across Jackson for several hours now, and we did see earlier in the entrance of bridges along I-55, we saw several highway patrol vehicles at those entrances with their blue lights on, possibly as a warning to people to drive slowly due to the ice.
Now we're going to move north of there to the town of Flora.
Yeah, Morgan Wagner joining us live now along Highway 49. And Morgan, what do you see?
It has really started to come down out here right now. We had a break for a second, but the snow is really starting to come down now, Joy. On my way up here, I did see 2 cars that looked like they had some trouble, maybe hit some black ice over on I-220, but as of 49 here, we are starting to see a little accumulation. Again, that ground temperature is still a little warm, so it is melting, but I took a few turns and I could feel my wheels kind of catch some ice. So we really need to be careful as we're headed out on the roads today. Again, like I was saying, this field behind me was probably more brown than white when I got here, but again, it is slowly starting to fill up as bigger chunks of snow start to fall from the sky. Continue to stay with with us, and we'll continue to watch these snow conditions. Live in Flora, Morgan Wagner, 3 on your side.